All right, hopefully we are live. It looks like everything is a go. Maybe someone in chat will tell me whether or not they can hear the mic, whether or not the music is too loud or too soft. But it looks like everything is going on. I got some new lights for Christmas, so I'm really excited about those. Hopefully it's making everything look a bit more spiffy up in here. So, based on our poll on YouTube, on my YouTube community page, tonight what we're going to do is do design for a pyromancy sorcerer. This is one of the archetypes that was submitted for Galder's Gazetteer. And I haven't looked at this before, so let's just dive right into this. So, let's see, this first paragraph right here, I tend to think is the... Thank you, Tiny Cat. You can barely hear any music. So let's go ahead and try to ramp that up right here. So what I think right here is this this first paragraph, I think is probably the most important. It's sort of giving you the thesis statement of what a good archetype should be. The reason I'm so like so enamored with this is that unless you have a really good story, unless you have like really good a strong starting point, your subclass is going to be all over the place because the mechanics can only get you so far. What really gets people interested is they like being a specific type of character in the world. So let's see what we got right here in the Pyromancy Sorcerer. You have a strong connection to fire, obviously. It could be such that your bloodline was touched by a being of fire, such as a devil of Flathagos or Dis, or possibly being from the plane of fire. It could be that a large fire during your life left a permanent scar on you, so potent that it could channel magic. Oh, that's cool. Whatever the origin of your powers, you are fire and fire is you. That's pretty purple prose right there. Let's go ahead and mark that. What I mean by purple prose is stuff it's a little out there. Okay, so really fast, this is a note for people who might want to publish. I'm publishing this on the DM's Guild, or not. I'm publishing this on DriveThruRPG, not on DM's Guild. So I'm allowed to use 9 hells because that appears in the SRD, but I'm not allowed to use any specific names for those places in hell. Just like I can say the Abyss, or the planes of the Abyss, but I can't say the infinite layers of the Abyss because that's Wizard's property. The Devil of Hell. And bingo, we're back within our legal boundaries. Okay, we can go back in and maybe look at that later. Some flavor text from the Phoenix Soul might be good to add in. I like the parts about not wanting to let the flame die and reflexively feeding fire. Yes. Both of those are much better than you are fire and fire is you. But those are someone else's texts, so we're just going to go ahead and mark those. Okay. So really, what's this person trying to see? It's not really a strong story. It's just like you are the fire sorcerer. All right. Thank you, Superhero Wannabe. This stream, I leave my streams up for 24 hours on YouTube. After that, they're available on my $1 Patreon. And so if you're just for $1, you get access to, I've probably done like a dozen of these design streams so far. A bunch of nifty stuff. Okay, so this I don't really think is necessarily a strong story up here. It's just saying how you possibly became the master of fire. I mean, whatever. Okay. So let's now just dig into these abilities. So real first, I just want to make sure that these are all right. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the SRD real fast. The SRD, I mean, I keep referring to the document. I hope that you folks know what I mean by that is it is the sort of the free rules that you can do whatever you want with. As long as you say, hey, I got this from Wizards, you can do whatever you want with the SRD. Okay. Cool. Looks like that's switched over for you folks just fine. Okay. So you get your Sorceress Origin features at first level, which makes sense. You cannot help but be a sorcerer. That's something I told one of the people one of my designers. She's trying to work on a sorcerer subclass. I'm like, there's something you really have to keep in mind that you can't choose not to be one. It's innate. So you get one at first level, 6th level, 14th level, and 18th. Okay. And while we have these up here, let's just check on what the default is, just to sort of get a gauge for power. Blah, blah, blah. Draconic ancestry. You can speak, read, and write Draconics. Okay, so free language. So free minor proficiency. Okay. We'll check interact with the dragons. Bells doubles the psychochize. Okay, so that's pretty much just a ribbon. That's not gonna happen all that often. It's just there to make you sound cool. When you're interacting with dragons, if that applies to the check, then you can double it anyway. So you're slightly more like 15% more likely to pass the roll. That's a ribbon. Draconic resilience. HP max increases by 1. Oh. That's essentially increasing your hit die. That's pretty nifty. And you get some cool fluff for it. And you automatically get mage armor. So you're basically casting one spell every day for free. The D12 tabletop RPG system. If you want to reach out to me, Twitter is usually a good option. You can leave comments on my community page on my YouTube channel too. That's kind of more sketchy though, because YouTube is not great about notifications. Twitter's usually the best place. Or on Patreon. I always answer my Patreon messages. All right. This is actually a pretty significant buff. You're basically getting a free first level spell slot every single day. It's as though you know that spell. Okay, starting at 6th level, blah, blah, blah. You get bonus damage. All right. That is pretty nifty. So you get to add an extra damage die to your damage spells. That is cool. Dragon wings, you can fly. Sick. You're going to cast a 3rd level spell for free. So you know what? All right. You can't do it all the time though. Draconic presence. 5 sorcery points. Oh my gosh. And you get an aura of fear. All right. And you concentrate and everyone's afraid of you. That's pretty nifty because it's been 5 sorcery points to do it. The rest of these you don't have to spend sorcery points. No. Oh, here they go. They give you at the same time. That's kind of a weird thing. All right. So this is pretty nifty. This is basically upcasting a spell. This is a free 1st level spell and a hit die increase. So yeah, sorcerer subclasses are actually pretty darn beefy. I feel like I've said that before. All right, they get a lot through their subclass. Cool. Go ahead and shrink that. OBS is going to freak out for just a second until I switch over. So bear with me, folks. All right. All right. Cool. So now we're back over to this one. All right. So I think something about how maybe this affects your personality might be cool. Like something a little bit more than you're just the person who controls fire. But you feel compulsions to do something, a need to spread. Emotion, anger, passion, things that are hot. Okay. That might be a bit more nifty, but I can work on. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that, right? Like you have maybe some options. That would be cool. What type of pyromancer are you? Were you like one that was got from the devil, an extra planar source? Were you marred some way? Okay. 1st level pyromancer ability. Starting at 1st level. That's probably something that they should have done throughout the whole book. The way that this particular author did that was right. 1st level feature underneath this. And I know they do it in the UA material. Feel out of control. That is a great point, William. Fantastic point. out of control. That is a great little roleplay tip. Cool. Starting at first level, you can light fires just by touching flammable materials. As an action, you can focus on an object you are touching and it will ignite. As a bonus action. Touching flammable materials. Yep. Cool. That's just a kind of a ribbon right there, right? Mantle of Flame. First level. When you gain this bloodline. How do they phrase it in the SRD? When you choose this bloodline. When you first gain this bloodline. Fire flows through your veins. And you can choose to give it combat potential. Oh, that's a gross phrase. As a bonus action, once per long rest, you can ignite and gain the following benefits for 1 minute. You can... Okay. You shed bright light. Cool. Creature hits you with a melee attack. Touches you. They take fire damage equal to your charisma modifier. Okay, so this is essentially like Flame Shield, right? When you roll fire damage on your turn, you add your charisma modifier. Alright, so this is just a version of the 6th level feature. That's a better version of the Dragon Sorcerer 6th level feature. So that's gotta get struck. Pyromancer who loves fire, such a cliche trope. So you're actually kind of having the opposite discussion here. So maybe we can put that in there. Whether you love fire or afraid of it. Are you a pyromaniac? With a mania. Feel out of control? Alright, cool. Alright. Creature hits you with a melee attack or touch you to take fire damage equal to your charisma modifier. Alright, so Flame Shield. I think Flame Shield is a higher level spell. Roaring Flame. By 6th level, your power with fire has grown to a point it does not harm anymore. At the same time, others who would normally be unaffected by fire are hurt by your flames. Your resistance to fire and your attacks/spells ignore resistance to fire and treat immunity as resistance. Okay. So this right here, I would say, is good pseudo rules text, right? Like if you're writing a first draft for something, like just for yourself, this is perfectly fine. It tells you exactly what this feature is supposed to do. But at the same time, this all needs to get flagged because it needs reworded. Going to the point where it does not harm you anymore. That is it's not very poetic. Okay. At the same time, others who are normally unaffected by fire are hurt by your flames. Okay. 14th level, by spending sorcery points, you can control non-magical fire in a certain area. Probably fairly large. Thank you. With this fire, you can cause it to spread, okay. So you have like a control flame spell. All right. Friend of Flame. That's better than 14th level ability. Like you can control lightning at higher levels. Oh, that might be cool. That's not a. I've definitely heard worse ideas. LP gaming, definitely heard worse ideas. At 18th level. Okay. Starting at. Oh, what happened there? Okay. You create a hellish firescape in the area around you. A number of creatures of your choice are unaffected by this change. However, everyone else on nearby surfaces ignite. I'm not sure what effect this would cause for it yet. Okay. So everything around you just catches on fire. Everything is fine. That's what we're going to call this one. Because you know that little meme? Okay. So this 18th level feature is actually pretty cool. You can create a hellfire, a hellish landscape around you. In the area around you. Alright, creatures of your choice. Aren't affected by this change. However, everyone else surfaces to ignite. Okay, cool. So let's go back and sort of think real fast what sort of power we had to give out at what levels here. So our first level features together with our base one, our Draconic Sorcerer, they gave you a first level spell, essentially for free. They gave you some ribbons, which is this one right here. Perfect ribbon. So they gave you a first level spell for free, and what else did they do? Resistance. Yes, the everything is fine meme. Okay. 5-3. Giving you its raw power. Burning power. That's terrible. That's no worse than the line I deleted. Okay. I am not good at coming up with nice fancy phrases on the fly. That's something I usually sort of like sit and chew on for a while, and it's not very entertaining for stream. Sorry, folks. As a bonus action, once per long rest, you can gain the following benefits for 1 minute. Why not let you spend your sorcery points to do it instead of spending once per minute? Because you lose your sorcery points so fast. So maybe when you cast a fire spell, you can get your sorcery point back. That's not a terrible idea. Because we need to give you the power equivalent of a first level spell, then some couple other things. Okay, so charge. Be able to heal with flames. Oh, that's not a terrible idea. Okay. When you cast a spell that deals fire damage and causes the target to become burned, you regain sorcery points. You regain a sorcery point. Once you use this feature, all right, no, one sorcery point is too little, right? We need 2 sorcery points to make a first level spell. So we're gonna go ahead and highlight that just to be sure. Later on, I'm gonna go ahead and check in the SRD just to make sure that I have that right. There's no reason not to look something up. Once you use the feature, you must finish a short rest in order to do so again. At 14th level, Flame is healing, purification is common myth. Yeah. You interstate where taking fire damage instead heals you by the same amount. So that's not a terrible idea from like a, definitely that's not a bad idea from a narrative standpoint. But I'm thinking from like a game mechanic standpoint, I'm not sure the person whose role it is they think they're supposed to be the healer would necessarily have a lot of fire spells stocked. So it really just becomes ability for them to heal themselves. At 6th level, at 14th level, you can do this twice. Finish a short or long rest. Man. Always remember the long rest. Always remember. Twice between rests. So here's like just a little weird thing that I found out about the way the rules are written. You can only use this qualifier between rests after you've already defined the short and long rest in the paragraph. Or else they never do that. Like I couldn't just say once between rests. That doesn't work. That nowhere else in the rules is it ever written like that. You only use the between after you've already defined the short and long rest. Just a really obscure sort of esoteric rules hint there. Make this heading 3. Okay. It's a bonus action. You can ignite and gain the following benefits for 1 minute. Why don't we just call this ignite? Why is this one being called ignite? If your ignite is this thing that you do all the time. That's silly. Why not make it like a sorcerer's rage? Like you're the fire raging thing. That's kind of cool. Pyromancer. This one's gonna be called ignite. And you gain the following benefits for 1 minute. Okay. So you know what? Why are you using your... whatever. That's fine. You shed bright light. That's obvious. I think this actually needs to get written out. If a creature hits you with a melee attack or touches you, they take fire damage equal to your charisma modifier. Okay. And here's where it's going to get nice and juicy here. Creature hits you with a melee attack or touches you. That creature. Okay. So... our guidelines for using they as third-person pronouns in the book are you can only use they refers to only a humanoid. If it could be a monster, you have to use that creature or it, following the rest of 5e convention. If you... oh, yeah. If you cast a spell using a spell slot that deals fire damage, the target is also burned. Okay. The first time. The first time you ignite. So you know what? No, we're going to remove this. We're going to place this somewhere else. That's going to be the 6th level feature. Cool. So this one right here, this should be kind of in the first one, right? You have resistance to fire damage. Right. Pyromancy. And you're resistant to fire damage. Okay. This is kind of weird. That's just fine. Okay. Maybe stacking a burning effect that deals more times they would be burned. Oh. That's not an awful idea either. Okay. So, here's the thing with the burned condition. In Galder's Gazetteer, I think maybe or maybe not, I like the playtest in the description, I don't remember. But we've added a whole bunch of new conditions for those just catching up. And one of the conditions is burned. And what burned essentially does is it gives you vulnerability to the type of damage that also gave you that condition. And you have to be really, really careful with that. Because what you don't want to have happen is that to become an I win button. You don't want that to be always be the party's best response. If someone burns a creature and then everyone else just stacks on the damage. Because vulnerability doesn't just apply to you, it applies to all damage sources. So essentially you're doubling everyone's damage output. So you have to be super, super sensitive when you're dealing with giving vulnerability. But yeah, so let's do that. Yep, at 6th level, the first time. Yeah. Cool. Flame shield. You shed Brett Light and cool. That's actually not bad. Just those two features right there, and all of this is gonna work out together. Cool. You know what? I am gonna put that up here in this first level one. That your attacks and spells ignore resistance to fire damage. Immunity to fire damage as resistance. Because I don't think that's really here's why, right? Because this whole character concept is based around doing fire damage, and we don't want to suddenly nullify everything they can do just by throwing the wrong type of enemy at them. So I think this is a good like quality of life thing, and really it's not that big of a deal. Because most other sorcerers, they could just change damage types. Oh, my fireball's not working, I'm going to use lightning bolt instead. I'm going to use poison cloud. They have lots of other options. Immunity to non-magical flames. Yeah, that's not... Yeah, why not? Turn to a lower chance of resistance per times burned in individual combat. Okay. Lower chance of resistance. Okay. But it's also burned. The first time. Okay, and this is how this is going to scale. You know what? Equal to level is going to be number of creatures times you can burn. Or we also took away the feature that lets you produce flames. Ha! Good point. Oh man. Produce flames. Alright, this is gonna have to get cleaned up. You learn the produce flames cantrip.
Who are you? I am the architect. I created the matrix.
And it doesn't. You know the rest, folks. I'll fill that in later. Well, what's the difference between using produce flames and this, because produce flames doesn't actually ignite anything, right? I think if you read the... Okay, hold on, folks. We're going to have to pause. And we have to go ahead and look up the SRD again. Because I need to know if I can even use produce flames. Alright, so real fast, let's go ahead and switch this over for your benefit. Thanks for everyone for coming and hanging out and helping. I really appreciate everyone showing up. Ooh, it's a little big. There we go. Okay. So do we have produce flames? No, I don't think we do. Huh. Nope. Not available for us to play around with, folks. Let's just double check one more time in the spell list. S. Well, what we could do is make a fake... Oh, there it is. Maybe I just can't spell. Yeah. Cool. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Alright, so you learned the produce flames cantrip, which is the author probably assumes you already knew.
I'm a person of Jesus Christ. You get caught using that.
Okay.
It's never happened. You don't exist. Right. Something wrong, man?
Yeah.
And you look a little whiter than usual. Like computer.
Something like that too. Cool. Charge, and then you can also ignite yourself.
Or you're not sure if you're awake or still
As a bonus action, you can ignite and gain the following benefits. See, I think this one you need to spend sorcery points to do.
unplug, man. You know, get some more in
And here's why.
Sure. Sure, take it with us.
Because we need to give you some sort of regulator.
I can't.
So you're not doing this non-stop. And because later on, when you get this charge feature, it's going to make this better. Yeah, exactly, Cody. Exactly, William Cody. That if I really wanted to, I could just take the text and produce flames, mess it up a little bit, and then put it back in. As like a class feature or something. All right. So this one, target is also burned. So okay, this actually creates a little bit of tension here. Let's think about this for a second. Because right here, when you cause the target to become burned, you regain the sorcery points. But you don't get an ability to burn people without a specific spell until 6th level. So this really means that if you're a pyromancer and you didn't take... I think it's called like Scalding Brand. I think in Galder's Gazetteer is the fire spell that burns you. You are just, you're kind of a sucker. So you do need to rework this. Oh, okay. When you go to 0, you can be teleported into the fire plane. Oh, object not worn or carried, yeah. No, you're touching it. So I think... Okay. Everything is fine meme. Alright, so 14th level, let's do that one. Let's do let's do the Phoenix Flame one. Phoenix, or something like that. Is that how you spell Phoenix? Nope. Ah, got it wrong. Okay, at 14th level, when you drop to 0, when you are, let's do it the other way. Reduced to 0 hit points. Or killed outright. Your body erupts in a blaze of, I'm not going to say glory, but we're going to use a synonym for glory. In a beautiful glorification. In a glorious blaze. Ha 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 ha. There we go. That's totally not a blaze of glory. It's a glorious blaze. Totally different things, folks. It's a glorious blaze. And your essence is reformed in the plane of fire. So, I mean, that's cool. So what's it gonna give you though? For a time. Okay. So what I'm kind of imagining here is like your spirit. Let's just write some fake text here. Your spirit is... Oh. For the next minute, reformed from the plane of fire. For the next minute, your body is unconscious, but stable. And your spirit okay. Here we're gonna write some little fake text here. You act like a ghost with your stats, but can't cast spells. Other than produce flames. Okay, so you get this like secondary form. You can get reincarnated. So I think this is going to only happen once, right? Once you use this feature, you must finish a long rest before doing so again. And you're a fire spirit. Okay. So this is gonna be like a miniature version of the spell Astral Projection. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and crib some of the language for this from. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Let's go back to this problem that I was working on before we got distracted by this 14th level feature. That was a great idea, Sharma. Dude, I called you, by the way. I left you a voicemail. You regain 2 sorcery points. Alright, you know what? Let's make this the 6th level feature. And we'll move this to first level. You get that once a day. When you use your ignite, and you cast a spell using a spell slot that deals fire damage, the target is also burned. Awesome. So this using a spell slot bit right there is actually kind of important. It's one of those things that's not immediately obvious unless you spent, probably some time doing this. Because what this is going to prevent is going to prevent you from spamming, prevent you from using your Produce Flames cantrip to do this, right? And it's also going to stop you from using magic items to use this. So if you want to cause the target to become burned, inflict this really powerful condition, you have to use one of your resources. You can't do it just willy-nilly. When you use your ignite. Okay. So the rest of this I'm going to go ahead and switch over to black because I'm kind of happy with it, except for this. That I want to revisit. Probably there's a nicer way to word that. Okay. Starting at 6th level. Okay, we're making some progress here. We're making some nice, juicy progress. Okay. 18th, everything is fine. Traits are unaffected by this change. However, everyone else, all nearby surfaces ignite in... What's a better word for blaze? I think I already used that word too many times. Inferno. All right. In the area around you. Creatures of your choice, yeah. So... we're going to crib language from Sculpt Spelled. Let's figure out how that's going to work. So what I want to do with this one, right, is we need to figure out how big it's going to be. What's the area? 120, 60-foot radius sphere. In a 60-foot radius. That's a pretty big area, 120 feet across. The ground in a 60-foot radius turns to lava. The floor is lava, everybody. Okay. Turns to lava. Turns molten and bursts in flames. Each creature in the affected area must make a Constitution saving throw the first time it enters the area or starts its turn there. All right, chat, give me a big number. All right. Person 2. $200. Fantastic. Ooh, hold on, I gotta switch my music back. I'm not allowed to play this music. That's secret music. All right. Yeah, 200. That's 20 D10. No, 40 D10. That's a lot of damage. All right, so 42 damage total. So how long do you want this to last for? A minute. So let's divide this by 10. 40 10 damage is weak though. Let's split the difference there. Let's do 60 10 damage or half as much on a failed save. This is going to be non-stop. They're always you know what? What we really should do is look at the table in the DMG for how much wading through lava costs you. Because there's a table that has this information already in it, and I want it to be consistent. Go put that not in parentheses, but in brackets. Thank you, Matt Click, for teaching me that trick. Cool. I'll highlight that. See, math is always the thing you do last because it's the easiest to change. It's not gonna switching this from 6 to 8 to 12. You know, that takes half a second. Cool. How often should you be able to do this? Once per short rest. Because this feature, your 14th level feature, is once per long rest. This one should be once per short rest. And I don't want anything else to spend your sorcery points because we're already doing that for your ignite feature back there. Before you can do so again. And what did I say when you write short rest or long rest? All right. Inferno. Cool. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and look back over this, right? So we're going to have some information on the bloodline, like where you came from. You were touched by a being of fire, such as a devil or a genie. Or what do they call the red ones? A Freet Prince. We're gonna have to look that up because I don't remember how to spell that. From the plane of fire. Perhaps a magical fire. Perhaps you were burned by a magical fire. And it left a permanent scar on you. Deeper than your flesh. Your skin. And so potent it could channel magic. Skin. And into your soul. That's maybe a little too prose. That's maybe a little too purple there. Whatever. That'll be fine for just this very second. Okay. And then here we're going to give you a little bit some more roleplay tips. Alright, so your Pyromancer ability is what you get at first level. You learn produce flame cantrips. It doesn't count against what you can do. You can touch things and make them on fire. And you have resistance to fire damage. So that's pretty hefty. Ignite right here, this is also pretty hefty. It's like your sorceress rage. You shed light, and when you hit a creature, when someone hits you, they take damage, so you're protected. And you ignore resistance, which is really just a quality of life feature. That sounds more powerful than it is. All we're doing is making this sorcerer being able to keep up with everybody else. By 6th level, first time you use your ignite and you cast a spell using a spell slot deals spell damage, the target is also burned. Scale at 14th level. It's twice between rests. Usually this feature twice between rests. Okay, 240. Okay. No. No, okay. We move this to 1st level. Because we need you to do this. So this can happen later on. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So 1st level, you get a whole bunch of features. You get a whole bunch of stuff. People are probably going to say it's too much. We'll see. Flames of the Phoenix, and at 14th level, 6th level, when you burn somebody, you get sorcery points back. That's cool. 14th level, you're killed or outright. You're up in a blaze of glory. You get this fire spirit. That's like a mini version of astral projection where you can just fight people and not really die once per day. And this Inferno. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. This is definitely pretty cool. Yeah, I am satisfied. All right, well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. The stream will be up for the next 24 hours, and after that, it's going to be on my $1 Patreon. Like I said, it's a really easy way to say that you support the channel and all this cool stuff. This playtest, this class will be in the next playtest packet, which will be out in my next video, which is coming out later on this week. So until then, I'm really interested in your thoughts. If you have some other ideas of how to maybe improve this or things that you would do differently, be sure to let me know in the comments below.